Hello, my name is Nick Williams, Master Gardener of Becker County Extension Service, and today I want to talk about straw bale gardening. Straw bale gardening is a technique that can be done indoors and in a greenhouse and outdoors. Most people would do it outdoors. I started 3 bales in the greenhouse because I was just anxious to get an early start on things. The technique at first involves buying straw, and that's probably the hardest step of the whole thing. I had a lot of trouble finding straw bales. Then they are placed where you want to grow things, and nitrogen is applied to the top of the straw bale. The nitrogen is not to feed the plants that are going to grow in the straw bale, but to enable the microbial organisms in the straw to start decomposing the straw, and that provides the nutrients for the things that you grow in the straw. So we put nitrogen on them and water them for 2 or 3 weeks. You can actually feel the temperature increase. It's an exothermic process, and the straw bales get so hot you think they might start on fire, but they don't. And then once that temperature starts to go down again, you can plant just about anything in straw. I put a layer of dirt on top of the straw, which is not necessary unless you plant small seeds. I planted, this is parsnips here. Those are onions. Those are pretty small seeds. And these are beets over here. Since I was planting seeds rather than plants, seedlings, I put that dirt on top. As you can see, there's a little bit of algae growth on top, and that just means that I'm putting too much water in it. This drip or soaker hose technique is something new to me, and I haven't quite mastered it yet. Straw bale gardening always works. I have never had anything fail to grow in straw. We're outside now. These are the other straw bales that I planted. They have been treated with the nitrogen, and they are starting to decompose. They are a little bit warmer than the ambient temperature, but they're starting to cool down again, which means it's the time to plant in them. At this environment in Minnesota, one can get about a 4-week head start on a regular garden because of the heat that's produced by the decomposition of straw. You can see I have cabbage planted in here. Normally we wouldn't put that in until Memorial Day, but the bales are warm enough to sustain the cabbage, and should it happen to be a frost, they're elevated from the ground, probably won't be affected by them. The types of plants that grow well in straw bales, like I mentioned inside, just about everything will grow. Some things that grow upright require support. I have seen one person grow corn in straw bales. I myself have not been able to do that, but everything else has worked just fine. The advantages of straw bale gardening: first of all, you can put it anywhere. You don't want to put it on plastic, but you can put it on concrete, anything that's permeable. And you don't have to rotate crops. You can put the same thing in the same place every year. Another advantage is there's less weeds. You can see some grass growing in these. I don't know where they came from, but we won't get the pigweed and the other stuff that normally infests the garden. Another advantage to straw bale gardening is the fact that it's actually less work. You don't have to bend over as far as you would to tend to your plants as you would if they were in the dirt. The disadvantages: straw bales do attract rodents, and they may burrow up into the straw bales. And when they get rodents, then that attracts snakes. Well, if you don't like rodents and snakes, you probably should think twice about this. If you do decide to put straw bales on your lawn, I would suggest you put hardware cloth down first, and that will keep rodents, gophers, and such from burrowing up into the straw from the ground. At the end of the season, you have a pile of blackened straw. It's not very pretty, but it's wonderful mulch and organic material that you can either till back into your garden or haul off and put it in your compost pile. As I mentioned inside at the beginning, the hardest part of the whole program, as far as I'm concerned, is buying straw. It's very difficult to find this size of straw bale, and anything bigger is just a little bit too impractical to use. Thank you. If you have any questions about this, you can contact the Extension office in Detroit Lakes. If they don't have the answers for you, they can get you in touch with somebody that does.